when you sit down, we all have karma, right? So who knows where that comes from? Some people, it might be fear. Some people live with like chronic desire, right? Some people live with massive ignorance. We all have all of this, but we each have our little tendencies, Some people, some people really want to have money, 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 and the other person only wants love, 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 and the other one's just afraid, 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 and all the things, right? So we have these things, and we can't really control what comes because it's by cause and effect. But what we can control, as I was saying before, is our response to it in the moment. So things come unbidden. Maybe you heard a lot of stories about sharks, great white sharks. So I live on Cape Cod, so there's all these great white sharks down there. Maybe you saw Jaws too many times or something, and so you develop this fear about great white sharks, and you're just really scared to go in the ocean. And the next person's just jumping off a boat and flopping around, right? So that fear comes from some information that came into that person's consciousness, whether it was movies, stories, the news, where they held on to it and now they're scared to swim. Or maybe someone else was taught that you have to have a PhD or your life is worthless. Maybe someone else was taught, you need to drive a really fancy car or you're a loser. Or we all have the things, and certain things come in and we like hold on to them. So now when we're going through our life, this stuff pops up unbidden. It's not like you want to feel the bowling ball, right? Or the fear, or have a thing for sharks, or be obsessed about a car, or whatever it might be. But it comes. So like a car that's going by, these things come and they go. So when anything comes in front of our consciousness as we're sitting, we're breathe in, breathe out. And here comes the bowling ball. That's where you have to enter even more minutely into what is this bowling ball? The heck is it? So you have to, I use the word climb in. It's actually not that descriptive, but that's how it feels to me. You're fully climbing into, okay, bowling ball, it's you and me, baby. Bring it on, come get me. I'm here. I'm with you. I'm not leaving you. As a matter of fact, I'm coming for you. So, okay, then it's, what is this? What is this bowling ball? What is this urgency? What is this emergency? And I've talked about this a lot. This comes from my Vipassana training, which is so useful. That they taught us a lot about go into it. And you'll see moment by moment a banging heart, thinking, oh my God, sweating, thinking, heart, clench. But it's happening so quickly. It's all happening so very quickly. And our teacher used to talk about the 24 frames per second. Now it's all digitized. I don't know how to give an example in the digital world, but if you think of the old film strips, you have 24 frames per second. That's a lot of frames, right, per 1 second. And so if you think about that hand moving, it's in real life, there's infinite frames per second. There's no frames. There's no second. But if you use the 24 frame per second kind of as a guideline or an analogy of how to get in there, how to climb in there, our job is, one by one, each thing has it. One by one, each thing is complete. It and dust interpenetrate. So what we want to do is climb into each frame one by one empty. Rather than, oh, my arm's moving. No mind, no arm, no moving, but we're going climbing in. So in the physicality of your practice, that's a physical mind body thing, right? So you got to go where it's happening, right into it. And try, if you can, to climb into each. We'll pretend there's 24 frames and see if you can go right into each frame and see, oh, it's this, then this, then this, then this, then that, then the, and they're each empty. And when they play quickly, and there's 24 of them in 1 second, it sure feels like a bowling ball. It sure feels like fear. It sure feels like desire. It sure feels like, whatever it is, despair, frustration, sadness, joy, happiness, all of those things. And that's that when you're doing something, do it. That's what that means. It means right into the frame by frame by frame. We have this equipment, and we have all this esoteric stuff, and we have the metaphysical, and then we have the everyday. And so like me picking up this cup and just lifting it up is all of the universal principles of everything you can think of is contained in that. That's why, like Buddha on Vulture's Peak one day, everybody's sitting there, they're waiting for the big speech. There's like thousands of people there. He says nothing for a really, really long time. And then finally, he just leans over and he just picks up a flower. And what he was, only Mahakashapa smiled. No one understood. It's too simple. So we say the whole world is a single flower. He's demonstrating this is everything. This is everything you could ever want. All the truth of the universe contained right here. So we're so lucky because we actually, can get in there just using our everyday stuff with what we have, our 2 arms, our 2 legs, a flower, a teacup, a driving, like walking. We can use breathing. We can enter into this big thing through, like you say, micro. So you go very microscopic, and like that hole, like that water with the stone, it just goes right through. Oh, entry, big entry. And we just have to have that patience and that faith and that trust that if we just continue, we're in the right place doing the right thing. When Jenny talked about Zen, we have 3 concerns with Zen. What is it? What am I? How? And why? That's probably true for most subjects, the what, the how, and the why. So what am I? How do I then access that? Why do I do that? That's all we need for why is pretty obvious, I think. But the why is the thing that our teacher talked about the most. He didn't talk too much about what and how. He talked all the time about why, though. Why? Sentient beings are numberless, we vow to save them all. Why do 1,000 vows? Why sit? A lizard can sit too, all day. But what's the result? So we say if a snake drinks water, the water becomes venom. If a cow drinks water, the water becomes milk. If you drink water, what does it become? What are you going to do with it? And that's kind of what our practice is. So it comes down to the beauty of the, we all have a bowling ball too, Juliana. I mean, we all have our different, and besides that, you've got all the other stuff, right? Just, and we have all the stuff. It just comes unbidden. And for whatever random reason, we grab onto certain ones and we get hooked. And so maybe we're hooked, and we're hooked, and we're hooked, and we're hooked for as long as we're hooked. And then we suddenly go, oh, right, I'm hooked. Let go. Goodbye.